it's a really exciting time, and we often think, oh, are we at the end of that era? Of course not. We're at the very beginning of a long-term journey of transforming how we look at this merging of the physical world, the digital world, the virtual world.
John, thanks for being here to talk with us about the future of 5G.
Yeah, my pleasure.
The last few years, Qualcomm has spent a lot of energy trying to move the 5G ecosystem forward. What are some of the things that you and the team have been most proud of, most excited about the way that 5G has become this platform that a lot of other innovations are now building on top of?
Yeah, I would say what we're most excited about is just how many people are already connected with 5G. So not only a huge amount of R&D and focus on making sure we were getting the priorities right so that it was something that could last us a full decade from the 2020s all the way through 2030, but really also something that was not only transforming the way people use connectivity, but setting the stage for new industries to really shift how they use connectivity and how they use compute. We look at the whole COVID era of homeschooling and the reality of people really needed to connect, and that 5G was at a perfect opportunity to really improve connectivity for many different people because it brought so much bandwidth to mobile broadband. And so that was one of the real goals of 5G itself, was to change the paradigm of what is the possibility in a wirelessly connected future.
How did 5G rollout change because of the pandemic, and what does that mean for where we're at now?
I think it forced the cellular communications industry to look broadly at, well, are we doing as good a job as we can at connecting people? And one of the things we even designed 5G for was connected industrial environment. So there's a lot of focus on a factory of the future. But we also really started thinking the transformation of healthcare, the transformation of a connected hospital. And you looked at the reality, well, if the patients are connected, the nurses, the doctors, the entire ecosystem, then all of a sudden the value of that data, that information exchange was much higher. And so even when we look now forward to the next 5 years, it's about ensuring that we're delivering the highest value towards this broader ecosystem.
What does 5G Advanced look like, and how is it going to take this forward to the next stage and maybe bring about some of these scenarios that have been talked about since even before 5G started rolling out to begin with?
Yeah, so when we look at 5G Advanced, it's really that next 5 years of 5G. So we look at something like augmented virtual reality. So that leverages the high data rates of 5G. It leverages the low latencies, the fact that things are more instantaneous. It also intersects the fact that where compute is occurring is fundamentally changing. So I would say when we look at 5G Advanced, it's about continuing that expansion of 5G into more IoT use cases. So beyond the smartphone, these new connected industries. And so we really look at 5G Advanced as that big next step forward with the broader industry and the broader investments to continue that expansion for another 5 years.
What are some of the pillars, the things that you all are thinking about as you look ahead to some of those pieces?
So we look fundamentally at wireless, how do we use spectrum? Or we look at how do we leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning? So we have smarter devices, smarter networks, but we're designing an air interface to leverage that machine learning, that instantaneous knowledge. We're also looking at the merging, what I call the physical world, the digital world, and the virtual world. So a lot of trends that are occurring now in 5G Advanced, they're also going to see their way into that fundamental 6G design.
There's a lot of interest right now, of course, in the metaverse. There's a lot of talk about the metaverse. What are the things that Qualcomm are doing to bring the metaverse into reality? Where do you see it coming into the real world over the next few years, so to speak?
So when you look at metaverse, you can think of augmented virtual reality, glasses. And then you can also think of, well, where's the content being stored? What's locally generated, what's stored at the edge of the network, what's stored in the data center in the cloud. And this ability then to have end-to-end optimization, to make sure that we're driving 5G Advanced in a way that's going to intersect these future opportunities. So we really do look not only at the consumer side, but also the fact that there's this transformation of how people will be using augmented virtual reality. And so when we look at the research we're driving as part of Metaverse, it's about making sure that we're looking broadly long-term at the compute side, at the multimedia side, at the wireless side, and putting it together in a very powerful way, and then making sure that the evolution of 5G itself can intersect that to bring more value to more people.
So as we're talking about maybe greater good that 5G can do, what are some other examples of the ways that that 5G and connectivity in general, that it could unlock some other capabilities, that it could solve some new problems and have some of this, bigger societal impact.
That digital divide and digital equity is about giving people that access to information whenever they want it. And so the ability of wireless and 5G to connect more of society in a cost-effective way, that's truly transformational. And so whether it's a connected laptop for a child who's learning information or doing their homework, or it's about that someone sitting on a bus learning information when they're coming back from their job at 10 p.m. So that ability of wireless and 5G data rates can really bridge that digital divide and bring more access to more information to more people. And so what's so exciting about something as fundamental as 5G cellular connectivity, 5G is evolving into 5G advanced, and that's going to evolve into 6G. But we're going to design 6G so that new things are possible, because we're going to be bringing more technology cost effectively into that ecosystem.
Well, John, thank you for your time. Exciting days ahead.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.